Greetings and welcome to another Pokémon 2023 or Pokémon Horizons the series anime episode review. This time I am talking about episode 13, so let's get to it. The episode begins with the Brave Asagi stranded near Levincia. As revealed by Orla, it turns out that the airship's tail fin has a delay in its response time. She also reveals that the Brave Asagi was originally Ludlow's fishing ship, which explains why he is almost always seen fishing. Orla is the one that made the ship fly at Freed's request, and she is quite proud of her craft. In order to fix the issue with the airship, Dot initiates a system reboot. Since this will take about half a day, they have nothing to do for a good while. So Freed suggests that they should all have a picnic, which will allow them to get some much needed rest and relaxation. Everyone accepts, though Ludlow and Dot choose to stay behind to watch the airship and ensure that the reset goes off without a hitch, respectively. Though in Dot's case, introversion is probably also to blame. Outside, Roy admires the sight of Levincia from a nearby cliff, with Liko saying that she is glad that he is appreciating the beauty of Paldea. They are soon called over to the table where they will have the picnic. And what's on the menu? Well, sandwiches, of course. A Paldea staple, and a clear reference to Scarlet and Violet. Murdoch tells Liko and Roy to pile on as many toppings as they want, so that they can make a sandwich their way. And Freed says that sandwich making is a true test of skill. So, Liko and Roy begin preparing their culinary masterpieces. In the end, Liko ends up with a simple sandwich that Molly calls plain. Orla encourages Liko to add some more ingredients, taking a page from Roy, who made a sandwich that would make Ash proud. Though predictably, this sandwich soon topples over, which is something I can definitely relate to. This is why you save before making a complicated sandwich. Wouldn't want to waste any valuable ingredients. Freed says that this is why he called sandwich making a true test of skill. Though his sandwich is just a simple one packed to the brim with meat. While Orla and Molly look down on his creation, especially after he talked about skill, Captain Pikachu gives Freed's sandwich a 10 out of 10. Liko realizes that how you make a sandwich says a lot about your personality. Once everyone is done making their sandwich, they proceed to eat them, with Liko and Roy sharing theirs with their Pokémon. Seeing such a lively atmosphere and all the fun they are having makes Liko realize that things like this were beyond her before. But meeting Sprigatito has allowed her to experience so many new things. This leads to several flashbacks of when they met and what they have been through. After reminiscing, Liko thanks Sprigatito for everything it has done for her. Liko then realizes that Roy is admiring the ancient Pokeball, something she reveals he does often. He says that seeing it gets him fired up, since he will find and catch Rayquaza. This leads to another series of flashbacks, this time of when Rayquaza first appeared and of when Roy captured Fuecoco and joined the crew. After this session of reminiscing, Liko takes a moment to appreciate all the friends she has made. Sprigatito and Fuecoco then proceed to play around with the ancient Pokeball. While Liko berates Sprigatito for this, since it's messing around with something that is precious to Roy, he says that it's fine, since they are having fun. Roy then says that they should take a picture together, which they do. He sends said picture to Dot since she stayed behind. The mention of Dot makes Liko reminisce about her, which leads to even more flashbacks. Liko thinks that it's a shame that Ludlow and Dot are missing out by not taking part in the picnic. Fuecoco then says that it's still hungry, so Roy makes another sandwich for it. However, before Fuecoco can eat it, something steals the sandwich. Said something turns out to be a Wattrel, who runs off with the sandwich. Roy and Fuecoco decide to chase it. Liko soon exclaims that she wants Ludlow and Dot to experience the picnic. She especially wants Dot to have fun. However, she does not want to force her out. Instead, she has an idea that she wants Murdoch to help with. Meanwhile, Roy and Fuecoco chase Wattrel to the edge of a cliff. However, surprisingly, Wattrel does not fly away. Instead, it puts down the sandwich and it turns around to face Roy and Fuecoco, who realize that Wattrel wants to battle. So they oblige. Fuecoco, of its own accord, seems to use Stomping Tantrum, which Wattrel is immune to, though it simply jumps over the attack. Wattrel then uses what I assume is Growl or Uproar. This staggers Roy and Fuecoco. Fuecoco fights back in kind by singing as loud as possible. The all-out Boko battle becomes so unbearable that Roy stops it. He decides that he will just split the sandwich in two so that Fuecoco and Wattrel can both eat. While Fuecoco is okay with sharing, to the point that it adorably gives Wattrel half the sandwich, after gorging down its half, Wattrel proceeds to steal and eat Fuecoco's half as well. Roy and a dejected Fuecoco decide to head back. On the way, they spot a flock of Wattrel flying away. Roy notices that the one that stole the sandwich is not flying off with them, suggesting that something is wrong with it. Back at the airship, Dot tries to put together a video on picnics, but she is unable to do so, since she has never been to a picnic herself. She soon notices the picture Roy sent her, but she brushes it off, saying that eating outside is the biggest pain ever. She then receives a text from Liko, who tells her that they prepared sandwiches for her. Since the donuts she got before were so good, Dot decides to eat the sandwiches. However, she soon finds out that only the ingredients were prepared. She must make the actual sandwich herself. This stumps her, since she has never made a sandwich before. Ludlow soon joins her. Dot wonders what's the point of having a picnic indoors. but Ludlow tells her that going outside is not what a picnic is about. It's about sharing the experience with others. He says that Liko is a kind girl. She found something she enjoys and she decided to share it with her friend. This makes Dot blush and smile, even though she still says it's a pain. Back at the actual picnic, Liko soon receives a picture from Dot of her in her Needle Thing costume, Ludlow and Quaxley with their sandwiches. Liko freaks out thinking that Needle Thing, who must be in the airship, sent her the picture. But she ultimately concludes that Dot used the awesome Needle Thing costume she has to make her happy, knowing how much she likes Needle Thing. Everyone else, who is revealed to know that Dot is Needle Thing, know that she is just being shy and that she just wanted to surprise Liko. While Fried wants to spill the beans, Murdoch tells them that Dot should be the one to reveal the secret. So instead, Fried says that he is glad that Liko and Dot are getting along well. Liko is delighted because this is the case. Now that she was able to experience a picnic, Dot is able to put her video on them together without issues. Fried and Murdoch watch this video, which makes them realize just how much Dot has grown. Something that makes them both happy, with Murdoch saying that he is glad that he brought her on board. They both then say that Liko has also grown a lot as well. They both agree that said growth is due to them being surrounded by friends. Roy and Fuecoco soon return, so Fried decides that they should all pack up and head back to the airship. On the way back, Roy tells Liko about what happened with Wattrel. This makes him realize that he cannot stop thinking about it, so he decides to go check on it. Fried says that Roy is becoming more discerning with Pokémon, which shows that Liko and Dot are not the only ones that have grown. Spinel, in disguise, soon approaches the airship alongside a group of Magneton who proceed to shower the airship with their waves. Once they get back to the airship, Fried realizes that the system reboot is not done. Worse yet, it basically has not progressed at all. Fried calls Dot to see what's up. She says that something really bad is happening. The system soon shuts down entirely, and the episode ends with Dot saying that the Brave Asagi might never fly again. So that's the short but detailed summary of the episode. Now it's time to highlight, analyze, and comment on my favorite moments and or moments that are noteworthy/interesting. This episode had way too many flashbacks, aka recap, for my tastes. You already know how I feel about recaps, especially when they are used to pad the runtime of an episode. It's only been 13 episodes, so we really don't need to be reminded of what has happened thus far, even if they took a 2-week break. Taking into account all the flashbacks and that nothing very significant happened, this episode honestly felt like filler, which is disappointing, especially after making us wait more than normal for it. However, at least the episode was not a complete waste. We got to see just how much Liko, Roy, and Dot have grown, with Dot doing some of said growing in this episode. We got to learn some of the backstory surrounding the Rising Boat Tacklers, specifically about their airship, and this episode also served as setup for the next episode, with the introduction of Wattrel and its plight, and with Spinel initiating his offensive. It appears that the next episode will be good, which will make up for the shortcomings of this one. Additionally, it was just great to see another Generation 9 Pokémon, one of my favorites at that, make an appearance in the anime. Hopefully, Roy will catch it, so that we can see more of it and so that we can see its evolution in the anime someday. But those are my thoughts on and analysis of the episode. Now it's time to bring this review to a close by going over my overall opinion of the episode. So, overall, this episode was okay. It was honestly pretty lackluster. The unnecessary flashbacks, especially so many of them, and the lack of any meaningful event make this episode feel inconsequential. While it was still enjoyable to watch and it did have some value and merit as far as characters and the story goes, it really could and should have been better. Even more so because of the fact that we had to wait longer than normal for it. Hopefully, the setup done in this episode will pay off greatly in the next one, thus retroactively adding value to this one. But that's the review and the video. So, as always, leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokémon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this one right away. Additionally, down in the description, I have affiliate links for GameStop, which is where I buy all my gaming related stuff, affiliate links for Amazon, which is where I buy all my stuff that is not gaming related or groceries, and a link to my Buy Me a Coffee page. These links will all allow you to support me directly if you would like to. I would very much appreciate it. Also, I have a link to my second channel, where I cover Resident Evil. If this is something that would interest you, then please check said channel out. Thank you so very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.